So we have this Epstein adjacent topic, but it has everything to do with the royals and ex-royals as well, because Sarah Ferguson's creepy 11-word Princess Eugenie comment to Jeffrey Epstein is making the rounds. And I thought that the man that we used to know as Prince Andrew, and now it's just Andrew, used to be a creep. But Sarah Ferguson seems that she was worried about, she didn't want to be in second place, so she is fighting hard for that. In March 2010, I guess that this was months after Epstein was released from his prison cell in Florida, Epstein emailed Ferguson to ask about a trip to New York, simply saying, "And why?" Ferguson gave an odd 11-word response saying, "Not sure yet, just waiting for Eugenie to come back from a shagging weekend." All right, that sounds appropriate for maybe for Austin Powers. But if you're not Austin Powers, and if you're having I don't know a conversation, maybe they were really good friends, Sarah and Jeffrey. That's what I'm getting from here. This is believed to be a reference to Eugenie celebrating her 20th birthday with her now husband, Jack Brooksbank. It is in bad taste, especially if you're talking to a guy, if you're emailing a guy who was just released from prison, 2010, remember, he had been just released from prison for soliciting and procuring underage prostitution. Nice. This followed an email in 2009 where Ferguson thanked the late convicted pedophile for his friendship. She said, "In just a week after your launch, it seems the energy has lifted. I have never been more touched by a friend's kindness than your compliment to me in front of my girls." Okay, so she brought her girls to Epstein right after he was released from jail. How nice. Thank you, Jeffrey, for being the brother I have always wished for. What the F? What the avocado toast F? Megan's Mike shared this from Basil the Great. Absolutely horrific. Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Mandelson discussing Prince Andrew's daughter, Beatrice, in 2009. You make it this what you will. To Peter Mandelson from Jeffrey Epstein, does that make it incest? How exciting. Remember, I'm already her Lord President. I'm telling you. That's why when a victim, that we need to respect the victims and we need to get to what happened to these victims and bring justice to the people who what did all these unthinkable things to them. They say, there are no names. There are names. There are names. There's nothing concrete about something illegal, but there are a lot of gross stuff in here. And maybe these people are not going to be prosecuted, but at the very least, they're going to see their careers destroyed. And I'm going to talk about this guy as well in a second. Lord Mandelson, who deserves his own topic. He deserves to be talked about him on his own. But we need to finish this Sarah topic. Sarah Ferguson told Epstein, "Just marry me. Just marry me," 6 months after PDF file was released from jail, and offered him VIP tours of Buckingham Palace new email show. Again, Sarah was competing with Andrew of who was the grossest. And again, not exactly illegal, but these people need to be exposed for what they are. This and every single one. And maybe this is the point that people are missing. Maybe they are not going to be prosecuted because they so many of them didn't do anything expressly illegal. Even if we saw those emails about two people talking about Andrew, that we need to know what happened with that. Maybe there's an investigation ongoing. We don't know. But even if there was nothing illegal, it's a good thing that these people are going to be exposed and they're going to lose whatever they call jobs or livelihood or whatever. So Sarah Ferguson told convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein to just marry me 6 months after he was released from prison, according to newly released emails. Oh, the message sent in January 2010 was included in millions of documents relating to the disgrace financier made public by the U.S. Department of Justice on Friday. Blah, blah, blah. You are a legend. I really don't have the words to describe my love, gratitude for your generosity and kindness. I am at your service. Just marry me. All right. This is, I don't know what's worse about Sarah Ferguson, if this or the toe licking pictures. No, this is. I think the toe licking pictures are worse. I think those pictures are worse. Not that we didn't already know this, but Andrew and Fergie are effing revolting. I feel so bad for Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Not to mention this, Andrew sent photos featuring daughters to PDF file Epstein. Innocent princesses are dragged into disgraced parents' scandal in latest file dump. Oh, nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves this. And there's this picture. People have tagged me on this picture. And the Epstein files, Lord Mandelson, the UK's former ambassador to the US, standing in his underwear talking to a young woman who is wearing a white bathrobe. Lord Mandelson said that the peer had no recollection of the photograph being taken and had no idea where it was. All right, so, and people are asking the question. Guess what question are people asking? You know what is the question that people are asking. You know what is the question, and I'm not going to say the question, and what I'm going to say is that I have no way of answering that question, even if I took a look at the picture in question. I said, I have no idea. And I'm not going to put myself in any sort of trouble whatsoever by saying anything about this familiar looking figure here. But I am absolutely not saying anything else about this. I am make of that what you will. There are versions of this picture without the redaction. And it's absolutely not the person that you're suggesting in the live chat. And again, that is my question as well. Where did the people get that unredacted picture? Or was it AI generated picture or something like that? That is the problem. We might never know. And the idea of the redaction is that we don't know who this person is. One thing I'm going to address is that from what the volume of the hairstyle that I'm seeing here, it was my impression that even if the body language could, be mistaken for the person that, you're thinking, the volume of the hair is a lot more volume. This woman has a lot more hair. They say she has literally a lot more hair. So that's the only thing that I'm going to address from this. But this said Lord Mandelson, who I did not know he existed or who he was, he has resigned. This is what we're looking for. Maybe they're not going to be prosecuted. Maybe they didn't do anything strictly illegal. Maybe this guy went for some, grown-up company. Maybe that is not strictly illegal if it was consensual. But maybe it was Ross. It was not the right thing to do, and he's facing consequences in some way. And we will have to deal with that. Lord Peter Mandelson is a British Labour politician, former MP, EU Trade Commissioner, and peer in the House of Lords. According to recent reports from BBC and others, he resigns his Labour Party membership today, citing links to Jeffrey Epstein revealed in newly released US documents to avoid embarrassing the party. So there you have it. There's we're seeing actual consequences to these people's actions. A shout out to J.E. May for tagging me on all this stuff. Peter Mandelson leaked a sensitive UK government document to Jeffrey Epstein while he was business secretary that proposed 20 billion of asset sales and revealed Labour's tax policy plans. All right. That sounds kind of insider trading. Maybe he can be prosecuted because of that. Remember Al Capone, he was gotten for taxes. And Roger Sage, shout out to Roger Sage, who always has this amazing takes. My account got locked and they took a post down because the squatties reported me asking if the person was Rachel. I'm appealing. Yeah, that is the question that everybody is asking. So I guess we need more proof do not say anything, not jump into conclusions. But I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and